It's Basketball 30.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this episode of Basketball 30. Basketball 30, a review of Shack basketball, of course. Southern Hills Athletic Conference. We're going to be going around all the schools in the league. We're going to talk to all the boys and girls teams. Joining us today, it's the Whiteoak Wildcats as we review all of the teams. The Whiteoak Wildcats and the Whiteoak Lady Cats are in the wings. But first, we're going to be talking to the Whiteoak Cats as we start things here. And we'll do that right after this on Good Guys Radio TV and C103.
ProGen's next-generation technology flooring is designed to stand up to the demands of modern life, and it's available now at the Winchester Carpet Outlet. Because ProGen is durable, waterproof, dimensionally stable, and easy to install, it can be used in any room, including rooms that are most prone to moisture and spills, like kitchens and baths. For top-quality flooring, service, and selection at prices that'll floor you, visit the Winchester Carpet Outlet, just off State Route 32 on Tri-County Road, just a few miles west of Winchester, Ohio, and online at winchestercarpetoutlet.com.
With all the financial headlines, are you wondering if your retirement savings will last? The market's ups and downs can keep you guessing, especially if you're approaching retirement or considering it. Your Edward Jones financial advisor, Ron Lynch, can help. If you have more questions than answers about what's next, we can work together to help ensure you're prepared for your journey. After all, retirement isn't the end of the trek, it's a new beginning. Stop by our office at 481 Tucker Drive in Maysville. Edward Jones, making sense of investing, member SIPC.
Welcome back to Basketball 30, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, I'm Don Bowles. Joining me, the Whiteoak Wildcats. As I said, we're going to have both the Wildcats and the Lady Cats here today. And don't forget, if you happen to be listening or watching this at our premiere at 10 a.m. Here on a Friday, make sure you're aware that you can go later tonight or anytime you want to. You can go to our archive section, Facebook, YouTube, or goodguysradiotv.com, and you can watch this or listen to it again and enjoy it as often as you want and share it with your friends. Joining us, the guys, to start things off, Coach Greg Patton. Coach, welcome.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Last year, you were a longtime JV coach. Last year, varsity coach. How big of a transition was it from JV to varsity?
Obviously coaches are tough. That's been there forever, and they've got systems put in. So that aspect, that was a little difficult. But, I had all basically guys that I've had the whole time, so that made it a little bit easier.
Well, when we talk about systems in place and the like, let's talk legacy first. Whiteoak boys basketball's got quite a legacy, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. And that's what we're trying to get back to, and try to be very competitive every year, and hopefully challenge for Shack and do well in tournament.
When you talk to the kids about, the people that went before and all that, the people that played, what do you reference back in the Wildcat history?
I mean, obviously their Final Four team would be the big one, and just how hard they play, because they've always been scrappy. I obviously didn't go there, but played against them my whole time, and just scrappy team.
When we talk about you didn't play there, let's talk a little bit about your background in basketball. I'm not sure if we've ever had that conversation. Where do you come from on the basketball side of things?
I played high school at Lynchburg Clay, and I went on and played college at UC Claremont for 3 years, underneath some pretty good coaches, and that really helped me really get into coaching.
Coaching-wise, the different teams you've had?
As far as
coach junior high, JV, whatever.
I coached a lot of AAU. I think I started off with 5th grade and worked up to high school, and I probably did about 8 years of high school there.
How much difference is it coaching AAU versus coaching high school?
It's a lot different, really, because you're not really scouting teams. You're just doing, as far as the AAU, doing what you want to do, as opposed to have to worry about everybody else. And they know exactly what you're going to do, and you better know exactly what they're going to do.
Now, a little different in AAU. For the folks that aren't familiar with AAU, is a branch of basketball is played year-round, pretty much independently from high school. Don't play a lot of defense, do they?
Well, my teams did, or they knew they wasn't going to play a lot. But yeah, it's true. A lot of them don't play a lot of defense. It's a lot of pushing the ball up and down the floor, and sometimes there's a lot of taking bad shots, and try to get the ball back as quick as you can so you can take another one. And you got to play the pace. Different teams is obviously different, but
now this year, and I'm talking to most of the coaches about this because it's such a major change. This year, instead of 4 divisions, there's going to be 7. Whiteoak is going to be one of 2 teams in the entire league that's going to still be in the smallest division. Do you think it's going to affect Whiteoak much?
I'm really interested to see that. As far as the tournament, when they go scheduling teams to play each other, because I know there won't be a lot of teams very close to us. So it'll be interesting. I think it'll probably help us out some, but we'll see.
Well, some of the perennial favorites are still going to be there. They didn't gain a whole bunch of population, did they? We're still going to see the Harvest Preps and the Afrocentrics and the like. Is that something you consider, or do you just kind of put that off?
Just put it off. If we run into that team, and we'll do our best. And like I said, it'll be interesting to see how everything pans out for everybody this year.
All right. On that note, let's take a quick break, and we'll be back right after this. We'll talk more about specific to Whiteoak basketball, and we'll meet some of these young gentlemen here. But first, this here on Good Guys Radio TV and C103.
Welcome to Jerry Haig Motors in Hillsboro, your local Chevrolet dealer for over 50 years. I am Steve Haig, owner, along with my twin daughters, Mindy and Mandy. We operate our family-owned business. We take care of our customers like friends and family. If you need a new Chevrolet or pre-owned vehicle, service, parts, or body shop, think of Jerry Haig Motors in Hillsboro. Proudly supporting the youth of our community. Stop in today for a great deal. Trade-ins welcome, financing available to qualified buyers.
I wanted to prove to myself that I could go to college and get my degree.
What if I went to Southern State? What if I'm able to go and become that nurse or that lawyer or that teacher? Southern State Community College allows students to rise above the circumstances that they're surrounded by and become something more than they ever dreamed possible.
Welcome back once again to Basketball 30, ladies and gentlemen. Joining me, the Whiteoak Wildcats and their coach. And we're talking about the 2024-25 season for the Whiteoak Wildcats. And, Coach, when we talk about the team, you talked about the transition from the previous coaches. What perfect world, what would you like to run with Whiteoak if you got the right kids and all that? What style offense, what style of defense would you like to run?
We'd really like to get after it, push the ball up and down the court, and just really look and get out and pressure the other teams. Take some great shots and just really work the ball, make the other team play defense as long as they can if we can't get an easy basket early.
Preference, man-to-man, zone, which would you prefer to run?
I'd like to run a lot of man if possible, but obviously we'll switch things up here and there.
And for the fans out there, what's the challenges running a full court pressure? I think every fan would love to see you run fast break, full court pressure all the time. You can't do that, can you?
Not all the time. I mean, a lot of that depends on your bench, how deep you can go, and the skill set of everybody. As far as getting one guy out, another guy in, if there's a big drop off, and you got to switch things up.
Last year, your biggest challenges, what are you trying to overcome this year? Other than obviously losing some great seniors, what do you have to overcome to be successful this year?
Hey, I think obviously we need to take care of the ball a lot better. I mean, last year was a lot of these guys' first year at varsity, and we took some pretty good lumps there, but they've shown a lot of progress, and hope we can push forward and do a lot better this year with everything.
All right. Well, let's meet some of these guys. Guys, why don't you go around and introduce yourselves, if you would, please. Starting with you, Aiden.
Yeah, my name's Aiden Kroll.
I'm Jackson Tefford.
I'm Xander Rhodes.
I'm Cameron Storms.
All right. Aiden, team leadership. Where's the team leadership start with on the Whiteoak Wildcats?
Team leadership is very important. I think it's gonna be it's gonna really come down to a couple of us seniors that have been there the whole time, and as well as a couple of the juniors. Really, the main people that have been on varsity that know what's going on and have been with the program.
Are you going to allow the underclassmen to wreak havoc with the team, or are you going to be, you guys as seniors, you're going to crack down on them pretty good?
I mean, everyone's got their input and opinion, which is important. But at the end of the day, we're all team. So I think it's important for us seniors and upperclassmen to kind of lead the younger kids.
Jackson, how tough are practices at Whiteoak?
I mean, we really like getting the ball up the court, fast break. So you got to have that endurance. We run a lot. We work hard. In terms of it being hard, I mean, we put in the work, I think. At the end of the day, we put in the work.
Is it Coach Patton, is he a pretty tough taskmaster?
Pretty tough? No, he's not that tough type of coach, but he knows what he expects from his athletes.
All right, now, just your opinion, not that it would change anything. You think you should run more or run less? What do you think?
Run more, run less. I think we should run more.
Really?
I do think we should run more. We ran a lot we ran a lot last year, and just that endurance aspect of our team, it just puts us that step above other teams in our shack.
Now, off the Xander, activities throughout the year for basketball. How do you prepare? Because again, a lot of what you do, of course, is away from the traditional high school team. What'd you do this season that should make you a better basketball player?
Me personally, I went back and forth between baseball and basketball. I didn't do as much basketball as I would really like to. Definitely not as much as he would like me to. But at the end of the day, I still put in the work. I have, especially after school started, I've shot a lot more. I've been putting the hours in the gym and the weight room to get stronger, to get faster, to get more athletic in general. The confidence has always been there, and it's continuing to grow, so I have no doubt about the season and how good it's going to be.
Well, and you mentioned back and forth between baseball and basketball. Whiteoak's pretty successful in multiple sports. One of the more successful sports, of course, is baseball. You guys have great seasons every year. How can you translate those skills, those baseball skills, to basketball and vice versa? Can you use those to make yourself better?
Oh, definitely. For sure on the short burst athleticism, like speed, getting up and down the floor. It's just like hustling out a ball in the infield to get a single, or just staying in the legs more like you would on a ground ball to you on defense. The lessons learned from baseball you can take into consideration. You got great coaches in basketball and baseball that help you stay into it. Got lessons throughout everything, and you just got to take it in and learn from it and get better.
Cameron, first year playing varsity basketball. What motivated you to do that?
Nothing really motivated me. I just wanted to get out there, play basketball.
What's your expectations?
Willing to put in the work. I don't really know what to expect, but I'm hoping to have a great season.
All right. On that note, we'll take another break. We'll be back, and we'll continue with our conversation with the Whiteoak Wildcats here on Basketball 30 right after this on Good Guys Radio TV and C103.
ProGen's next-generation technology flooring is designed to stand up to the demands of modern life, and it's available now at the Winchester Carpet Outlet. Because ProGen is durable, waterproof, dimensionally stable, and easy to install, it can be used in any room, including rooms that are most prone to moisture and spills, like kitchens and baths. For top-quality flooring, service, and selection at prices that'll floor you, visit the Winchester Carpet Outlet, just off State Route 32 on Tri-County Road, just a few miles west of Winchester, Ohio, and online at winchestercarpetoutlet.com.
With all the financial headlines, are you wondering if your retirement savings will last? The market's ups and downs can keep you guessing, especially if you're approaching retirement or considering it. Your Edward Jones financial advisor, Ron Lynch, can help. If you have more questions than answers about what's next, we can work together to help ensure you're prepared for your journey. After all, retirement isn't the end of the trek, it's a new beginning. Stop by our office at 481 Tucker Drive in Maysville. Edward Jones, making sense of investing, member SIPC.
Welcome back once again, ladies and gentlemen, to Basketball 30 here on Good Guys Radio TV and C103. I'm Don Bowles. Joining me again today, it's the Whiteoak Wildcats and their coach, Greg Patton. Greg, let's get down to some specifics about the league. Competitively, the league's very good, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's going to be tough top to bottom this year.
Who's your favorite team to compete against? Is there one that let's put that as a name, or a couple of teams or whatever? What's an important win for you every year?
I'd say with me probably Leesburg, because they seem like they've been the top team for a while.
Is there a big difference? I don't think I've talked to the coach. Is there a big difference between the Division I in the Shack and Division II in the Shack?
Yeah. I mean, in certain teams, I think there is. It's just, how would I say that? Just seems like they got more to pick from, I guess.
Right.
They're a little deeper, usually.
Okay, now when we talk about, you mentioned Leesburg, Fairfield. What makes them so tough?
Well, it starts with Coach Williams, obviously, and just he's a high-demanding coach, like a lot of the coaches are, but you know, he stays on them, and they seem to respond, and he just gets them to play how he wants.
Now, he comes from, I don't think Quentin would mind me saying, he comes from the passion side of things in basketball. You're a little more laid back. How does that affect your ball club?
Hell, I think it affects them when I really start getting on them. They're like, man, we've pushed him too far now, and when you get him back where he's a little more evened out and everything. But they respond to that. So as long as they respond to that, I'm not going to go crazy on them. But there's times that I have to.
All right, we only have four seniors here today. Talk about the rest of your ball club. Who else you got that'll see a lot of time this year?
Yeah, we got a lot of guys returning. Sawyer Blair played point for us last year and started, I think, every game. And Brady Brandenburg, huge part again this year. Zach Igo. Jonah Michael. He didn't see a ton of time last year, and a lot of that was on me. But he's shown a lot of improvement also.
Are you going to be a lot different having lost the seniors you did?
I mean, I don't think we'll be a lot different. Obviously, West and the way he plays, just all out, all over the court. Sometimes it's not a good thing, but a lot of times, he made up with so much with just being ahead of the defense and grabbing rebounds, and he really led us last year vocally.
Right, and still the same style. You'll be running the same things, you think?
Yeah, a lot of the same stuff we'll do.
Okay. Offensively, you struggled at times last year. Your team had a tendency to be a little streaky, a little really good at moments and then down at moments. What's that about, or what are you going to have to do to try to address that?
I'm going to try to get them shooting a lot more this year. I probably didn't do a good enough job last year where we really focused on defense and some of the other things. So definitely have them shooting a lot more this year, and hopefully I'll take care of a lot of it. But like I said, I mean, we could shoot, just whatever reason we were so streaky that sometimes we'd force some shots, and that would just take us down.
Sure. Jackson Tedford.
Yes, sir.
13 games you'll play in the league.
Mm-hmm.
Your prediction as to what your record will be at the end of those 13 games?
End of these 13 games, I'd say we'd be pretty in the middle, maybe a little bit above average, like 7-6.
7-6.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Xander, you're back there kind of nodding your head. What about the overall record? What are you thinking?
I'm always coming in with confidence. I'm confident in the team that we've put together. I'm going more towards 9-4. I think we'll start off a little slow, but we'll definitely pick it up, and we'll definitely be a competitor towards the end of the year.
All right. Aiden, well, you didn't give me that overall record out of 22. What's it going to be?
22, I would say probably 13-9 is a.
Okay. All right. Aiden, what do you think of your two fellow seniors' predictions here?
Yeah, no, I'm kind of with Xander on that one. I'm coming into this year with high hopes and confidence in our team. I think we can really do good this year with the players we got and the program we got.
Cameron, how are you gonna contribute to that record that we're talking about there?
I'm gonna go out there. I'm gonna go play my hardest. Just give everything I got.
Now, are you a shooter? I mean, the guys, you haven't played organized with these guys. Are you a shooter? Are you a defensive specialist? I'm
in the mix of all of it.
You can really do it all.
I can do it all.
Really?
Yeah.
You guys, Aiden, you commented there. You pretty excited to have him on the team this year?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Why didn't you go out and get him 3 years ago?
That's a good question.
Okay, Coach Patton, you heard the predictions. What are you thinking?
I like it. I like the confidence. So, hopefully we can beat more towards that 9 wins. But, we got a lot of work to do. And like I said, I know how hard the other teams are working. So we just got to outwork them and come ready to play every game.
And the biggest hurdle you have to overcome to do that from last year, I mean, as compared to last year.
Again, I mean, obviously we just got to shoot the ball better and take care of the ball better is our 2 biggest things.
Okay. On that note, we'll take another break. We're back. Up next, we'll have a conclusion here about the Wildcats, but don't forget, the Lady Cats are coming up yet here in our Basketball 30 program. So make sure you stay with us right after this here on Good Guys Radio TV and C103.
Welcome to Jerry Haig Motors in Hillsboro, your local Chevrolet dealer for over 50 years. I am Steve Haig, owner, along with my twin daughters, Mindy and Mandy. We operate our family-owned business. We take care of our customers like friends and family. If you need a new Chevrolet or pre-owned vehicle, service, parts, or body shop, think of Jerry Haig Motors in Hillsboro. Proudly supporting the youth of our community. Stop in today for a great deal. Trade-ins welcome, financing available to qualified buyers.
I wanted to prove to myself that I could go to college and get my degree.
What if I went to Southern State? What if I'm able to go and become that nurse or that lawyer or that teacher? Southern State Community College allows students to rise above the circumstances that they're surrounded by and become something more than they ever dreamed possible.
Welcome back once again, ladies and gentlemen, to Good Guys Radio TV and C103. It's Basketball 30 here today. Today it's the Whiteoak Wildcats, and we're finishing up just around the corner. We'll have the Lady Cats join us with Coach Ron Harris and the young ladies that'll be out on the floor this year competing on a positive side for the Whiteoak Cats. Coach, biggest challenges coaching from a small school like Whiteoak. Whiteoak doesn't have a lot of players, a lot of student population. What's the biggest challenge you guys could face with that?
I mean, obviously, like you said, just the numbers. We don't typically get any guys that's 6'5" or bigger, and so it makes it rough. And then playing other sports where it's not guys just focused on one sport with the smaller schools, which I have no problem with that. It helps everybody out, but that's probably the biggest problem.
And give us an idea who you'll be playing non-league this year. Who you got scheduled to be playing non-league?
I know we got Wellston. I believe Clinton Massey again. I think who else. I can't really remember off the top of my head, to be honest with
Clinton
you.
Massey, that's a pretty big step up. Clinton Massey's a pretty athletic powerhouse, and they have a football program that's extremely successful. That translates to the basketball floor, doesn't it?
Yeah, we struggle, seem like, against every football school, and That's something these guys getting in the weight rooms hopefully will help us out some. But it's tough when you're playing football schools. It's just beating on each other every day in the weight room every day.
There you go. All right. You're shaking your head, Mr. Tedford. You think you guys should beat on each other more often in practice, or what do you think?
In the positive aspect, yeah, I do. Not.
Maybe Whiteoak should start a football program, right?
Oh, most definitely. Football.
There you go. Aiden, I'll leave the last comment for you. What are you going to suggest for the fans to come out? Why should they come out and watch the Whiteoak Wildcats?
Fans come out, support. It's important to have a lot of numbers. I think we got a good upcoming program, and hoping to start it this year.
All right. Thanks, Aiden. Coach Patton, thanks for coming.
Appreciate it, Don. Everything you guys do.
Oh, thank you. Thanks, guys. We appreciate it. We're looking forward to a lot of fun watching you play basketball this year. All right. Welcome to basketball, Cameron.
Thank you.
All right. On that note, right around the corner, as promised, it's the Whiteoak Lady Cats right after this on Good Guys Radio TV and C103.
ProGen's next-generation technology flooring is designed to stand up to the demands of modern life, and it's available now at the Winchester Carpet Outlet. Because ProGen is durable, waterproof, dimensionally stable, and easy to install, it can be used in any room, including rooms that are most prone to moisture and spills, like kitchens and baths. For top-quality flooring, service, and selection at prices that'll floor you, visit the Winchester Carpet Outlet, just off State Route 32 on Tri-County Road, just a few miles west of Winchester, Ohio, and online at winchestercarpetoutlet.com.
With all the financial headlines, are you wondering if your retirement savings will last? The market's ups and downs can keep you guessing, especially if you're approaching retirement or considering it. Your Edward Jones financial advisor, Ron Lynch, can help. If you have more questions and answers about what's next, we can work together to help ensure you're prepared for your journey. After all, retirement isn't the end of the trek, it's a new beginning. Stop by our office at 481 Tucker Drive in Maysville. Edward Jones, making sense of investing, member SIPC.
Welcome to Jerry Haig Motors in Hillsboro, your local Chevrolet dealer for over 50 years. I am Steve Haig, owner, along with my twin daughters, Mindy and Mandy. We operate our family-owned business. We take care of our customers like friends and family. If you need a new Chevrolet or pre-owned vehicle, service, parts, or body shop, think of Jerry Haig Motors in Hillsboro. Proudly supporting the youth of our community. Stop in today for a great deal. Trade-ins welcome, financing available to qualified buyers.
I wanted to prove to myself that I could go to college and get my degree.
What if I went to Southern State? What if I'm able to go and become that nurse or that lawyer or that teacher? Southern State Community College allows students to rise above the circumstances that they're surrounded by and become something more than they ever dreamed possible.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Basketball 30 here on Good Guys Radio TV and C103. As promised, now joining me, it's the Lady Cats from Whiteoak. And, of course, the Lady Cats represent Division II in the Southern Hills Athletic Conference. There are two divisions in the league, Division I, Division II. And we talk about Division I being the big schools and Division II being the small schools. Realistically, there's not that much difference between the smallest school in the league and the biggest school in the league. But Whiteoak being one of the smaller schools, they are in Division II, and they have had a lot of success in the past. We're going to talk to them, and we're going to talk to Coach Harris. But first this, here on Good Guys Radio TV and C103.
ProGen's next-generation technology flooring is designed to stand up to the demands of modern life, and it's available now at the Winchester Carpet Outlet. Because ProGen is durable, waterproof, dimensionally stable, and easy to install, it can be used in any room, including rooms that are most prone to moisture and spills, like kitchens and baths. For top-quality flooring, service, and selection at prices that'll floor you, visit the Winchester Carpet Outlet, just off State Route 32 on Tri-County Road, just a few miles west of Winchester, Ohio, and online at winchestercarpetoutlet.com.
With all the financial headlines, are you wondering if your retirement savings will last? The market's ups and downs can keep you guessing, especially if you're approaching retirement or considering it. Your Edward Jones financial advisor, Ron Lynch, can help. If you have more questions and answers about what's next, we can work together to help ensure you're prepared for your journey. After all, retirement isn't the end of the trek, it's a new beginning. Stop by our office at 481 Tucker Drive in Maysville. Edward Jones, making sense of investing, member SIPC.
Welcome back to Basketball 30 here on Good Guys Radio TV and C103. As promised, here's the Lady Cats from Whiteoak and their coach, Ron Harris. Coach, welcome to Basketball 30. A fun way we hope to tell everybody about what's coming in the season. Now, before we do that, though, something I'm not sure that we've done very often. Tell us a little bit about where your background comes from in basketball, specifically as coaching. How did you end up as a coach? What your coaching experience is.
Well, I actually ended up coaching probably more so because I missed basketball as soon as it was over. But probably a good chunk of it is because I didn't really have a good experience with my coaches. Being from a big school at Princeton High School, I felt like they could have done more, and I kind of missed basketball, so I put those two together. Wanted to give the kids at the school, because I went and started coaching at Princeton at my high school, and wanted to give the kids more than what we got.
Okay, when you talk about coaching at Princeton, what have you coached? Junior high, varsity, JV? What did you coach before you came to Whiteoak?
I never coached in middle school or youth. I started as a freshman coach my first year, and then moved up the next 6 years was a varsity assistant, and after that I went to Blanchester, was a varsity assistant there for 3 years, and then I came out here.
You've also had some experience with AAU, correct?
I've had a lot of experience with AAU. I usually, when I was coaching boys, I coached 3 teams a year, 2 to 3, with the Shining Stars program. Alex Meacham runs it. He used to be a UC basketball player. We were one of the probably the biggest program in the Cincinnati area. So I've coached the equivalent of more AAU games than I have high school games by far.
What does that bring to the table for these young ladies here to Whiteoak as to that experience? What does that add to your resume?
We just play a little different, a little faster, not as much, calming it down and running plays and passing the ball a whole bunch. If you look at our stats since I've been here, we shoot the most. It doesn't mean we make the most, but we do shoot the most by far. And it's just an AAU style of play, getting up and down the court, running. You see some patterns in AAU that you'll eventually see in high school, where I think AAU will be like 2 years ahead. When AAU started running a 1-3-1, 2 years later, all the high school teams are starting to run a 1-3-1, and you see those patterns. So being in AAU, you kind of see the patterns before they get to the high school level. You mentioned, going back to what you said about I don't want to call it dissatisfaction, what you did not gain from coaching in your personal experience. What do you bring to coaching that you think was not brought in your previous experience? I would say just the extra stuff. I mean, we were a school that had the resources. We had the money. We had the coaching. I mean, the staff. We had 8 people at the high school staff. You've seen Whiteoak, we have 1 or 2. So being able to have the things like simple things like travel gear. We all have personalized travel gear. At Princeton, we had to return our gear, and it was the same stuff that someone else wore 5 years before. And you flip the coin on if it was going to fit you or not, if it was too big, too small.
Sure.
Those kind of things, those are extra, but just we didn't have a coach that opened the gym a lot for us extra times. We didn't do team activities and go hang out, and just the personalized part of sports that I think make it easier when you're in a game situation, or just the experience that the kids have overall.
Okay. I'll tell you what, let's take a quick break. We'll be back and we'll talk a little bit about more of the specifics on the Whiteoak Lady Cats, and maybe we'll meet some of the Lady Cats as well right after this on Good Guys Radio TV and C103.
Welcome to Jerry Haig Motors in Hillsboro, your local Chevrolet dealer for over 50 years. I am Steve Haig, owner, along with my twin daughters, Mindy and Mandy. We operate our family-owned business. We take care of our customers like friends and family. If you need a new Chevrolet or pre-owned vehicle, service, parts, or body shop, think of Jerry Haig Motors in Hillsboro. Proudly supporting the youth of our community. Stop in today for a great deal. Trade-ins welcome, financing available to qualified buyers.
I wanted to prove to myself that I could go to college and get my degree.
What if I went to Southern State? What if I'm able to go and become that nurse or that lawyer or that teacher? Southern State Community College allows students to rise above the circumstances that they're surrounded by and become something more than they ever dreamed possible.
Welcome back once again. Basketball 30 here on Good Guys Radio, TV, and C103. Joining the Lady Cats from Whiteoak. Earlier in our segment, you heard from the guys. Now we're talking to the young ladies and their coach, Coach Ron Harris. Coach, let's talk about the team this year. How's it going to be? You lost a lot of players. How's it going to be this year? What's the difference going to be? What are you losing from last year?
It's hard to really guess what we lost so far until we actually get into a league game. For the last 4 years, you've seen pretty much the same players. You guys have been calling the same names for the last 4 years, and then it's just an odd rotation. I mean, some schools go through it, but you lose 7 seniors, and I mean, we only bring in 1 freshman. So we went from being one of the bigger schools numbers wise to now one of the smaller schools. We might be the smallest roster in the SHAC this year, but we lose overall experience when you're talking about numbers of years played, numbers of games. But I don't think that we necessarily drop in talent at all. I think many instances this year should be better than last year.
Okay, when we talk about talent and the like within the SHAC, you mentioned back in our last segment, you mentioned something about the style of basketball, and it is a challenging style to play against that's played in the SHAC, isn't it?
Yeah, a lot of teams run their program sets very well, and whether it's throwing in a press randomly, whether they're running flex every now and then, whether they're slow it down and run their 2-3 zone or whatever, it doesn't matter necessarily talent what you have individually in this league, where a lot of leagues, I think, from what I've seen with the girls, it does matter what your individual talent is. But I think these coaches have got their programs running so well. Teams like maybe Ripley, where they don't have a standout player, but they put together a really good game, and it's because they're running their stuff so well. And I mean, they had a bunch of close upsets or really close games where if you look on paper, you probably wouldn't think that might happen. But it's just the way that these coaches have got everybody running, and it's difficult. It's hard. You can't really sit there and scout it either. It's easy to scout a team that's got 1 or 2 good players. Okay, I'm going to go double that person or whatever. But if you do that in this league, they run their sets and stuff so well, the off player that you didn't think would score is going to start scoring. So it is different. It's different than city ball. Like I said, I'm from the city, Princeton area, some of the best teams in the state, but I would like to see what a game against, a top North Adams team and a top Cincinnati team, a Division I team would look like. It'd be interesting.
Right. When you say that, when we talk about all the differences, because I find it really interesting, were you surprised the quality of play? You came here, 3 years ago? 4 years?
Yeah. I was surprised because, coming from Blanchester the couple years before, that was my first introduction to anything outside the 275 loop. I was always inside 275.
Sure.
And every league is going to have their years where they're up and down and have really good teams, average teams, and bounce around. But the competition in this league compared to what I saw when I was around the Southern Buckeye and just the overall top to bottom competition is a lot better than I thought. And I'll be honest, I didn't even know Whiteoak was a school before I came out here. Never heard of it. So didn't hear about any of these teams really. I know I heard of Peebles and I heard of Fayetteville girls having success, just seeing their scores on the news or something, but definitely didn't think it'd be as good as what it is.
There you go. Let's meet some of the players now if we could. First up, your name, please.
Kylie Ham.
And you. Let's introduce everybody around.
Ellie McMullen.
Tori Potts.
Addison Roberts.
Welcome, ladies. Kylie, basketball. Why do you play? You like it? I mean, is there must be a reason you like to play.
Yeah, I love it. It's definitely my favorite sport because I get to be aggressive. I love playing with the girls. It's very, like, you get to make a lot of, like, new, hold on, trying to grab the word. A lot of new friends. I'll just say that. A lot of new friends. A lot of connections. You know, you learn a lot about not only just, like, basketball, but, like, life. Like, you get a lot from it. It's not just, like, a sport. Like, you learn a lot.
Okay, you said your favorite sport. You participate in other sports?
Yeah, I play volleyball. Not sure if I'm going to run track or softball this year, but yeah,
When you talk about physical, you like defense
love it.
or do you like offense?
I love defense because it's intense. It can be really intense, but offense can also be, I don't know. I think I'm going to say defense. I'll say defense because it can be really intense, especially with Addie Roberts.
Coach, you chuckled a little bit when I said you like offense.
Yeah, she definitely likes the offensive side, but we do try to be a defensive first. Like I joked about earlier, well, we took the most shots, but didn't make the most shots. So if you want to win some games, you got to be able to play defense. And we led last year in a lot of defensive categories throughout the season. And if we weren't the number one by the end, we were at least top three, and I think in every defensive category. So we take a lot of shots, but one thing we definitely pride ourselves on is defense.
All right. Ellie, what do you like about basketball? Why you play?
Well, I started really young, and just throughout the years of learning new people, meeting new people, seeing different teams, it's just an overall love for the game.
When you look back 10, 15, 20 years, which probably seems like a lifetime to you, what are you going to remember from basketball?
Meeting the people, it has been like a great experience, just having new friends and meeting new coaches. You see with different coaches just different personalities, and they all just like mean something to you. And every coach I've ever had meant something to me. They've all taught me new things and better ways to live.
Tori, at Whiteoak, is it a big deal to play basketball? Does everybody else follow it? Do they keep up with you, or you know? Is it just
Kinda, I'd say, yeah. They know you from basketball.
right?
Yeah.
And what I asked Ellie, what she takes away from it. What are you gaining out of basketball?
Oh, I just like how it transfers over into life. Like how for basketball, you just need to know the fundamentals and just like the basic skills. It like applies over to life because you need to know like the basics and little stuff to things. And it's kind of weird how like certain things transfer over, like teamwork, and how like you just gotta plan out and have a plan when you go into things, and that's really helpful in a game, but also like in your day-to-day life.
Addison, you're one of those players. I never know whether to see you under the basket or out on the wing or in the corner. Why is that? Is that your personality or just the way you like to play basketball?
It's just kind of the way that I like to play basketball. I like to think. I just try and do everything the best that I can and give it my 100%.
Defensively, is that a big deal for you?
Yeah, defense is probably my specialty, you would say.
Why so?
My freshman year when I came up from junior high, that was Coach Harris's first year coaching, and I was only probably 5 foot, scared freshman. Basketball wasn't really my thing, so I didn't expect to get a whole lot of playing time, especially on varsity. He didn't expect to play me varsity either, but throughout practices and stuff, I could definitely see where our team was lacking, and just kind of what I've been taught growing up, I put in a lot of work, and I noticed that one thing that I could really control and that I really found that I was kind of good at was defense, so I pushed really hard on that. And because I did that, Coach Harris kind of recognized it, and I got some varsity minutes, and I've been a varsity starter ever since.
Okay. On that note, we'll take a quick break. We'll be back more after this on Basketball 30.
ProGen's next generation technology flooring is designed to stand up to the demands of modern life, and it's available now at the Winchester Carpet Outlet. Because ProGen is durable, waterproof, dimensionally stable, and easy to install, it can be used in any room, including rooms that are most prone to moisture and spills, like kitchens and baths. For top quality flooring, service, and selection at prices that'll floor you, visit the Winchester Carpet Outlet, just off State Route 32 on Tri-County Road, just a few miles west of Winchester, Ohio, and online at winchestercarpetoutlet.com.
With all the financial headlines, are you wondering if your retirement savings will last? The market's ups and downs can keep you guessing, especially if you're approaching retirement or considering it. Your Edward Jones financial advisor, Ron Lynch, can help. If you have more questions and answers about what's next, we can work together to help ensure you're prepared for your journey. After all, retirement isn't the end of the trek, it's a new beginning. Stop by our office at 481 Tucker Drive in Maysville. Edward Jones, making sense of investing, member SIPC.
Welcome back once again, ladies and gentlemen, to Basketball 30 here on C103 and Good Guys Radio TV. With me this afternoon, or today, it's the Whiteoak Lady Cats. Coach, you got some great personalities on this team. How much of that lends itself to the basketball floor?
Very much. And I could say it's all in a positive way. The way you communicate with them, and you guys have seen a lot of different personalities over the last few years. But this group, I think I can definitely, we can yell at each other, we can laugh, and probably within the next 5 seconds of each other, I could yell at them, and then she'll do something stupid and I'll laugh at her. So it definitely helps so much to have, they seem shy on camera, but they're actually pretty outgoing and talk a lot and have very outgoing personalities. So it just makes it so much easier than if you had kids that were shelled up and didn't communicate. And it's interesting if you guys got to see what I see.
Kylie, he pointed to you when he said you do something and he laughs. What's that about?
I'd say, I bring some humor to the team. I think it brings a lot of energy around, try to hype us up.
Sure.
Say it's my number one thing.
Addison, who brings balance to the team? Who kind of levels the team out a little bit?
She's not with us right now, but Marley Gobin, she's a junior. She's definitely our balance girl.
Well, when we talk about players that are not with us, let's talk about it. Addison, who are we missing that obviously everybody contributes to the team. Who are we missing that's going to be a big part of the team this year?
Well, we're only missing 4 girls of our team. So we're missing Marley Gobin. She's a junior. We have 2 sophomores, the Hauke twins, Addie and Charlie. And then we are also missing our lone freshman, Jillian Lucas.
Well, and Tori, relatively new to the team. What do you think compared to when you first joined the team? What do you think of them now?
I think I've gotten a lot more used to them. I like with this team is being able to correct them and them not hold a grudge or anything. I could go up and say how we should be doing this, and we'll fix it instead of carrying over the thing from game after game. It's a nice thing to still be able to correct someone but be friends with them after.
You wanted to say something?
Yeah, I think it's very with us, it's very important to have communication off the court, and I think that's something we do very well. I can add on to we can hold each other accountable. No matter if it's yelling or what way, we can do it without and go on about our day. It's not an issue for I think it's very important to have your communication off the court too.
Ellie, you're nodding your head as well. Thoughts about that?
That is true. We've all became very close with each other, and every day throughout school, it's just we personally compliment each other. We're always talking about the games and the practices and how much we enjoy it. So I think just us being so close as a team has made us how we are overall.
Coach, challenges this year. Who do you like in the league? Who you like playing every year?
That's a rough one. This year I think we're going to be, since I got here, the first year I was here, Eastern was loaded, Peebles was loaded, North Adams was loaded, and it was like, and even Lynchburg, it was a team like you see them and you're like, I don't know how I can even play against this team. And you see by the scores, that's how it was. And each year that I've been here, it's getting more and more even. You're losing those top players, and right now, and I mean, if you look at it on paper, it's not somebody who feels like, I don't know who would be a preseason favorite to be Player of the Year. Last couple of years, I don't even think last year we voted. It was everybody knew everybody knew it was going to be Peyton Johnson. And I don't even think in the league meeting we actually took a vote. I think they just wrote it up on the board. But this year, I don't know. I don't know who you say is the best player in the league. I don't know what team looks overly dominant over any, even big side, small side. I think if I were to put us in order, I think us in Fayetteville would be competing against it, the first and second again. Ripley's a team that's going to be right there behind us. Then you look at North Adams lost a couple, but he always puts together a great team. I'll still say it. I've joked about it all year last year, but I'm glad to not have to play Peyton Johnson again. But there's not another player like her, I think, left in the league. So now you actually get to see true team ball. I think everybody's got teams. I don't think anybody has a standout player who's going to go win a game for him right now.
Coach that you love playing against, coach that
I'm going to ride this one till I beat him. I'm just so competitive. I keep joking about beating Rob Davis one day. I might have to coach at Whiteoak until it happens because I'm too competitive. But it's all from a respect level. He puts a great program together, and I've talked to some of his past players and just the way they talk about him. And it's one of those ones like you want to beat the best person.
Sure.
I don't want to beat the worst person. Sure. And then Fayetteville's, I mean, that's just a rivalry in its own, and that's that one game where you look forward to it both times it comes up on the schedule. And I know these girls have been looking forward to it, and I know they're looking forward to it. So I know last year we got a little competitive, and I had to go apologize to Coach Rummel at halftime because we both wanted to win, and I like games like that. I don't like games where you're not even talking to the other coach, or it doesn't seem like one team really wants to necessarily, like they want to win the game, but they don't want to beat the other team.
Sure.
Like I like games where you don't care about if you actually win the game, you care about beating that other team. And I think that's two different things that a lot of people don't separate.
Sure. Addison, overall record the team's going to have this year. You play 22 games. What do you predict? How many wins and losses you're going to have?
We were 14-10 last year.
I think we're going 19 wins.
19-3 then. Okay. Ellie, what about league? What do you think about the league record?
I think that we will do very good in the league. I think the biggest competition is obviously going to be Fayetteville. They overall just have a younger but a faster and a challenging team to play against. So
Okay.
I would say our league will win it or come in second.
Okay, Kylie, 13 games in the league. How many of them will you win? Quickly.
Wait, is that's counting North Adams, right?
Yes.
I'll go
Out of 13.
11.
So you'll be 11-2. Okay.
Good.
All right.
But that's
11
like good.
11
That's good.
wins, 2 losses. All right. Well, we'll hear how Coach Harris feels about that when we come back right after this on Basketball 30 here on C103 and Good Guys Radio TV.
Welcome to Jerry Haig Motors in Hillsboro, your local Chevrolet dealer for over 50 years. I am Steve Haig, owner, along with my twin daughters, Mindy and Mandy. We operate our family-owned business. We take care of our customers like friends and family. If you need a new Chevrolet or pre-owned vehicle, service, parts, or body shop, think of Jerry Haig Motors in Hillsboro. Proudly supporting the youth of our community. Stop in today for a great deal. Trade-ins welcome, financing available to qualified buyers.
I wanted to prove to myself that I could go to college and get my degree.
What if I went to Southern State? What if I'm able to go and become that nurse or that lawyer or that teacher? Southern State Community College allows students to rise above the circumstances that they're surrounded by and become something more than they ever dreamed possible.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's time to wrap things up here on Good Guys Radio TV and C103 at Basketball 30 for our segment that includes the Whiteoak Wildcats and the Whiteoak Lady Cats as we finish things up here with the Whiteoak Lady Cats. Coach, your team predicted pretty high expectations. Not perfect, but pretty high expectations. What's your thoughts about that?
I always try to predict high. If you predict high and you come a little short, but if you predict low and you come short, you're going to be way lower than you want it to be. But I don't think it's very far off if we play to our standard. If we play the way we played over the summer, we had a great summer. We went to 8 different colleges, and we didn't do a local shootout here. We played a lot of big teams from other states, and I think this group's ready. If we come close to our expectations of ourselves, I don't see those numbers being very far off. I'd like to hit the winter break with 1 or 2 losses, and I think that's very possible. If not, we have a big tournament. We're going to the Princeton Holiday Tournament to play 2 games against 2 really good schools. That whole tournament, you couldn't pick a bad school to play. If we could hit there around 7-1, 8-0, something like that, that would be amazing. But I'd see no less than. I would see no less than 6-7 losses is my guess at most for a conservative guess. But if they play to their full potential and we keep the ball rolling, and you're going to see players that you haven't seen before, our freshmen, our Jillian, and our 2 sophomores that you didn't get to see a lot because we had so many older kids. I think this group is probably more talented than we've had in the last several years here.
All right. I think we'll end it on that. Coach, thank you very much. Ladies, thank you. And thanks, of course, to the Whiteoak Wildcats. Again, 10 a.m., of course, you're listening to us on C103 and you're watching us on Good Guys Radio TV. But don't forget, if you would like to watch and or listen later, just go to our archive section, and you can do that at goodguysradiotv.com and Facebook and YouTube. And, of course, tell all your friends about it. Tell them how good Whiteoak girls basketball and guys basketball is going to be this year. And more than that, tell them to go out and watch them play live. That's what counts. I'm Don Bowles, and here on C103 and Good Guys Radio TV.